Well, hello, everyone. Sorry we're a little late, but the schedule has run a little over. So we're here live now at Cloud Foundry Day. Yeah. Nikki, is my audio coming through in your ear? Is my audio coming through on the ear? Okay, perfect. All right. So great to be here. For those in the physical, real-world audience, this is Cloud Foundry Weekly Live. You should go follow us on YouTube or LinkedIn or Twitter, cloudfoundryweekly.com, and download the podcast version. But this session is dedicated to getting the Cloud Foundry stories out, having the contributors and users kind of interact with each other, and we'll see how it goes. So, Nick, you have any words to say here?
Yeah, so first off, I usually take half of Thursday. We're doing this on a Wednesday, so it's kind of throwing me off. But glad to be here. This has been a great show. We broke 2 milestones today. So this is our first live episode. And second, we want to break 100 users by our 10th show. We broke 100 subscribed users today. So whoever the last 2 are that subscribed today, get a hold of me. I'll be a better of your choice. So we broke that. That's our first milestone. So thank you all for that. And that's about it.
Let's go.
Oh, doing myself. Okay. As frequent listeners, you all know I'm friend of the pod, second time on. I was once by Deshaun. I was hoping to be the second person on. That's fine. I'm Amelia Downs. I'm a Cloud Foundry contributor. I've been since January 2016, almost at 2 years now. I work mostly on container-to-container networking, routing. If you're upset at GoRouter, you probably came to me at some point and I had to explain things to you. But I'm so happy to be here.
I'm Tom Brisco from JPMorgan Chase. There, I play the lead design on a TAS, let's say TAS 4, to get very specific, TAS deployment. We have a couple of foundations deployed out there that they're very popular within the firm.
I'm Greg Otto from Comcast, and I lead our DevX platforms team and been a proud member of the Cloud Foundry family for over a decade now.
Nice.
And hopefully on the live stream. All right, thanks, Kevin, for letting us know about the echo. So we got that fixed. So Kevin, all right, Nikki, we can't have the mics too close, so we'll be careful there. But let's start with the first question. Like we start all of our or try to. We'll usually forget and dive right into the topic. But let's start off with what is your first CF push? And Amelia, since your turn, what's your favorite line of code you contributed to Cloud Foundry or whatever you want to tell us there?
Greg, you want to start with your first CF push?
Sure. So again, it was over 10 years ago. There are two of the founding members in the audience today who remember fondly, hopefully, that our first CF push was together with our development team. So we got together with some folks from Pivotal, and we had our own kind of CF day out in Denver, and we built the platform and had our development team there with us, and then did the CF push and had the applications up and running, and the rest is history. It was it was pretty surreal. In some ways, it was like, well, wait, that's it. Like, okay, what else do we have to do? Yeah, no, it was. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Mine, I joined Chase in 2016 specifically to work on Cloud Foundry with the team there. My timing was not perfect. I should have joined maybe 3 months later. I showed up 3 months before it went live to the entire Chase community. I remember like working through, I first of all had to decide whether do I want to try and get a Cloud Foundry working first? Do I want to build one, or do I just want to push an app? So wisely, I just pushing an app, and I was just terrified. The last thing I wanted to do was to mess up the go live date, and so I write the Python, figure it all out, do a lot of reading. I do a CF push. That's it. Did something break? I check around, make sure nothing breaks, and I was like, whew. So big kind of relief at that moment. I was like, look, there it was. It's up and live. Something to help me inspect the inside of containers.
So your first experience pushing something live to production?
No. It was to the lab on one of the foundations that was part of the final build pipeline. We didn't have anything in production yet. I didn't want to be that guy. Yeah.
Matthew Coker took one of my favorite things that I've contributed, which is human readable timestamps.
Thank you.
2019, I said. 2019, I said, oh, wouldn't it just be nice if these were all the same? How much effort could this possibly take? Let me tell you, wrapped up last year for them to be fully rolled out. It has. So I didn't think it would take so long, but I'm glad we did it.
It was very humane. Probably one of my favorite features. Coming from the operations side, and go and try to troubleshoot stuff, make things a world easier just to get it every time.
All right, so we can do our next question.
Yeah. So we'll start with Greg. So Greg, how is your business using Cloud Foundry today? Are there any cool use cases that you can tell us about that you're doing?
Yeah, there's a lot. So Cloud Foundry is in use across pretty much every customer experience lifecycle moment across all of our products. So it's probably running about 70% of our back office. Memorable moments, things that are not events, that are big events. So the NFL Sunday Ticket, first game of the season, first commercial, we have the 10x spike, on the platform from that, and it always goes off without a hitch. And we've had other big moments, Peacock with the wild card games and so forth. That was a pretty big event in the U.S. But a lot of great events, and knock on wood, they've been uneventful from a customer experience standpoint.
Can I ask a silly question?
Sure.
Why is the first commercial important?
So the first, it's when everyone's like, oh, wait, I need to get signed up for the NFL Red Zone so I can see, all the highlights from all the games. So
Okay.
and everyone waits until kind of that moment.
That's impressive. A 10x event was uneventful. Glowing recommendation. No?
For us, I mean, we run a tremendous amount of applications on top of Cloud Foundry. It's always a cool source of pride as I'm visiting anything, that I go and see it. But the ones that really impress me, and maybe some people think it's Black Friday sales or something like that, but when the Amazon Prime events kick off, right, there's an incredible shoot up and load across kind of all of the things we really care about. The credit card points, all of that is all coming in, being processed on Cloud Foundry. And the part that I really enjoy is they have kind of I don't want to call it a war room, because we're not typically expecting anything too horrible to go wrong. We're all ready for this. It's just the way everybody comes together in that. So you have the line of business, the business reps, the app devs on there, the infrastructure people, just sort of listening in, making sure everything's going smooth, and the sense of community that comes out of that is really always the impression I'm left with.
Nice. So Cloud Foundry lets me spend all my money on Amazon. Is that what I heard? All right. Yeah.
You are a Sapphire member.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Okay. All right. So we can move to our next question now. So Cloud Foundry has been a game changer for many organizations' app modernization journey. How has it enabled your own organization's app modernization journey? Tom, you want to start?
Oh, sure. It's I think it's really brought a different perspective to it. We hear from our clients, the app dev community inside, about the ease of the experience. You wouldn't believe how many times in my career I hear the CF push experience comparison. I hear it everywhere. I never knew it was a thing until I actually started talking about it outside. The expectations of the services and how those are done. So getting away from the sort of old school approach of dealing with IT and filling out forms and making requests sort of melts away. And we've seen all of the service providers internally kind of come together and start mimicking that. So it's really become that kind of pole star, right, for us to design towards. And just good experiences with that coming out of it.
Do you have memories of filing a ticket and having to wait how long for something to get done? What's the length of time you've waited?
The reality, some of it could go on for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's not there yet, but we see, simplified things like database experiences. Nobody's in the environment better for me, right? It's about the increase their velocity, don't take them away from the keyboard, those results. But the database provisioning now can take 5 to 10 minutes, as opposed to 2 to 3 weeks. Other types of services like that kind of follow in line, that demand that immediacy.
I'm picturing that XKCD comic where like their code's compiling, and so they get to play on their rolly chairs in the hallway or whatever while their code's compiling, and now you're taking that away from them.
We think about we talked a lot about the inner loop in development, and just really want to minimize the distractions, right, that can occur in that. Like, hey, I need a whatever, and make it easier in development environments. And of course, it gets a little bit more challenging as you move up towards a production environment. But we just want that to be a pleasant experience. Make sure code is developed as fast as possible. Then rolling out new features. That means we're doing cool things for our customers out there.
All right, my turn.
Sorry, I went on there.
No, it's great. It's been so long for us. It's had these different phases in terms of what it's meant to our organization, to our developers. Initially, earlier on, it was really about providing a platform to decouple our applications and provide resiliency, which we were able to achieve. And then just the amount of toil that removed from the development organization. We went through a lot of change in the way we developed and delivered software at the time. So it's kind of that, by developers for developers, and we were in it together, and it provided a lot of psychological safety, which I think it freed our developers to kind of, take more chances and work in an environment where fast iteration and experimentation, less expensively, was a lot of fun. It became a lot more fun, to develop and deliver software. So so the whole developer experience becoming kind of that, inner passion that we always had, right? Like I said, our first CF push experience was with the development team with us, right? So we kind of didn't know it at the time, but we were baking developer experience into the product, just like Cloud Foundry's been doing for a long time. It's meant a lot to us. One of the founding members that couldn't be here wanted me to, make a point, because he reminded me, like, remember, you chose one of the most customer critical applications to start with. We didn't start with something easy. We started with something that literally, if it breaks, like the whole customer experience is disrupted, and so is the revenue engine and so forth. So a lot of people would have a real bad day. Mostly myself too. But as we were able to go through that change, that people transformation, as well as the development and technology transformation, it just kind of helped pave the way that, if we could do it for this, then we can modernize all these other applications as well, right? Because we kind of help remove some of the excuses, right? So it was definitely a big bet, and I thank the Cloud Foundry community and and James and all the other folks that have been contributing, to the platform. So for us, it's had different impacts, kind of through the years, right? From resiliency and again, most recently with developer experience, and we want to continue to kind of elevate the contract that we have. James talked about contracts, to continue to raise that value line, which the developers are working. So, and our business and customers enjoy a lot faster release cadence with much more quality and predictability. This one here.
Our mics.
Say all that again. It was great. Yeah.
It was awesome. Missed all that.
Trying new mics out. What better time?
I think too high of a concentration of mics.
Great. I still have both mics. I'll keep talking.
So it's something that's been down in the weeds. Same thing. I mean, have you dealt with any really neat use cases that would come Cloud Foundry? Maybe we heard NFL, we heard Amazon Prime Day. What have you seen?
What have I done? I remember Cloud Foundry's Summit. Oh, I don't remember when. One of the summits might have been in Europe. IBM was there, and they were trying to run very large TF deployment. Maybe not as large as SAP, but fairly large. And of course, they had to upgrade it while we were at Summit. And they were introducing container-to-container networking for the first time. And they ran into some of the scaling limits that we quickly learned about when you get large foundations and try to use container-to-container networking. And so I got to work with them at Summit on debugging their systems. But it was just such a great learning experience to see, when it's this large, how does my code run and affect real users and affect real operators? Please don't upgrade while we're up here. But just being able to interact with the operators and actually see their system, work with the open source, and work at scale has been great.
No pressure while doing something that was
Yeah, during the happy hour too.
So the next question is,
Talk to me real quick and then bring it back.
testing. All right. So the next question is going to be, you talked about services. So what does your service marketplace look like? What data services are you using on Cloud Foundry? How are you using data with Cloud Foundry? Tom?
Tons of data services. I think any business, maybe banks in particular, are a little bit funny about the data, about data preservation and everything. So there's a lot of options. So there's Hopper, Oracle, all kinds of data services coming out. Over time, the sort of ecosystem that developed around platforms leverage things like open source broker protocols to be able to support data platforms both within the app and within our platform outside of it. So as people kind of come together, I talked about these additions kind of standard certain service line. That's manifested by the many data services that are there. Some of our other popular ones go towards identity, application identity, and ensuring that's one place to rely on the security system. So that's probably our indicators.
Yeah, Comcast, we have a pretty robust marketplace. It has both, common like Redis and RabbitMQ, Postgres, Mongo, Yugabyte, things like that. And then we also have a number of services that we've created as well. Sergey was up talking about our GSLP as a service and bring your own URL capabilities. Those were created using the Open Service Broker API framework. And for us, again, it's really about, and again, Sergey talked about this earlier, but the ability to geo-distribute and deploy applications and data, right? So providing the CF push experience for data services is really important for our developers as well. So they continue to kind of push the envelope for not just, hey, you have these services and they're available in these individual foundations, but also, hey, we need these services also geo-distributed and connected to our applications. So we've delivered that as well. So there's kind of the common stuff, and there's some things that we've created as well.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And Greg or Tom respond, just pass that mic back and forth because we're still doing some tweaking. Sorry about the audio on the last.
We can share.
Yeah. Whatever floats your boat, right? All right.
Not only unleashing past potential, but we're making people best friends with it.
Yeah. This is a community, right? What it's all about. Okay. Okay. So we talked about the marketplace, right? I think Amelia, the next question is for you to.
So I don't get to talk to Cloud Foundry users directly very much, except for SAP. I see you guys too much. So I want to hear your requests. So straight to my ear. It doesn't have to go through product. It doesn't have to go through a GitHub issue. Speak straight into my ear. What do you want as an operator of Cloud Foundry? Give me your wish list.
I think me and Greg both have one in common. I don't want to spoil it for you. Do you want to?
No, go ahead. We're together now.
Tell my wife. It's probably about both me and Greg run quite a number of foundations. The way we think about and talk about our platform internally, and I think some of our platforms lead off with, I don't run cloud files. At the same measure, we take our metrics, our SLOs and SLAs, are benchmarked against all of them operating together. So coordinating activity between different foundations becomes kind of a big challenge. It's something, I mean, we presented about it earlier, right? And how do we extract ourselves away from that? Clients are faced with, well, I pushed over here or pushed over there. Now we have things like exposing a lot of application metadata internally, so it's like, I forgot where it is. Those things. But when clients are trying to accommodate things like growth capacity, or referred to as kind of organic growth, that's that. I'm already deployed. I need more instances. I need to scale. I need to go to that. There are things around trying to achieve the best we can do. I think me and Greg, we talked about how do we step away from that and focus on the running of that, running service. Help us.
It's the multi-foundation story. Yes.
Help us. You want to add anything to that? I know it's.
Yeah, no, I covered it well. To add on, right? Like, again, the unit of measure is we, live in a multi-foundation world. So, that's definitely a big ask is, how do we, again, kind of, raise the focus for the developers to focus on the app. And again, apps come with data as well. So that ability to ease and have a platform handle all of that, hard work of geo-distributing the applications and enabling us to kind of think about, again, the app and then declarative, interfaces with, policies to apply against the app, whether that's, canary deployment, whatever those sort of contracts look like, but again, to the app, and then, the platform kind of takes care of, implementing that desired state.
That's one of the reasons I love having these conversations, because I know you work in the field, so you work with customers all the time. You see the nitty gritty, how they really use our platform. I live off in this fake world where I get my own TAS and my own CF deployment. I run one app on it to test something. It works great when there's one app on it, by the way. And then I tear it down and start it all over. And so I know for my first few years I'm working at Cloud Foundry, I definitely never heard of this multi-foundation use case. It's like, why would anyone run multiple foundations?
So we do
But
it.
I love bringing together, all roles. Dealing with Cloud Foundry is important, so I can understand this when it comes up and when we're building it.
So we do have some of the, you probably have similar ones, big, what I'll call big A applications.
Mm-hmm.
20 to 50 microservices. They may have like 20 to 50 microservices defined, and then for risk reasons, spread it around, say, 5 or 6 foundations, maybe across data centers, to do with the risk. And I've been on troubleshooting calls with these guys, and it goes towards the kind of, was it Professor, Mr. Hermanster, and living room with the handle to be able to track down. How do we want that? How do we fix that? What can we do to avoid that next pattern? Do you have ones like that, or?
Yeah, what's really interesting is that this sort of, and way back when we were choosing Cloud Foundry, it was because we knew that we would be in a multi-cloud world. And it's interesting how, some of the narrative has changed, right? So initially it was really, from a resiliency standpoint, we've had, I think someone was talking about, a large public cloud provider having outages that are, not unique, and, come with some frequency. But, more lately, with different pressures on OpEx and CapEx, it enables us to have a financial engineering capability now, right? So, if there are teams that are trying to, sort of shift OpEx and CapEx, we can do that from, private cloud for a period of time, and it just makes it very easy for folks to be able to have that ability to, use this multi-foundation in new and interesting ways and patterns to be able to, deliver against these business outcomes. So there's lots of reasons, why the foundation environment is important. And this is, continuing to find new opportunities for being able to leverage that. So that's kind of an example of, a recency use case, right? So that, again, that option and the ability to quickly pivot to a new, opportunity, whether it's a new market differentiating capability somewhere, or, again, financial engineering, because our finance team does have an opinion about, and so forth. So it's coming in for a number of different use cases that we will quickly pivot and be able to say, hey, yeah, we can help, and it's a core capability, the platform.
It's good to know that whenever we build something, there will always be a user who uses it in a way that we did not expect. Always finding new ways.
Well, and I think that use case you talked about is one that, I don't think enough people consider. That's something I think we could go on for 30 minutes about the ability to use the foundations to do that kind of encounter role, right? Where's the best place to put an app, not only from a region perspective, but also from a financial perspective. Being able to shift your application around to where it makes the best financial sense without having to change anything for the developers. It's the exact same experience.
Yeah, sometimes we look at, price per kilowatt. I mean, there's different regions that have different, so kind of like at home, you run your dishwasher at night sort of thing, and, where you run your load, sort of matters and translates. So yeah, I'm sure that there are a number of different use cases that we'll find out next week, I guess.
One of the greatest things I heard from one of the talks earlier, it doesn't have to be a nerd fight. Love that. That was great. But it's the same thing with financial. doesn't have to be a fight. We can move things around as we see fit. That's a great use case.
Yeah, we're their best friend. So.
Okay, so we are coming up on our time. Do we have any final parting words or words of wisdom that you want to partake on the community before we wrap up?
Wow. I would say always keep the dev in mind, please. Sometimes we frequently get clients, but it's usually an opportunity. So if we need to go look up infrastructure law office about what's going on, and why they're asking questions, that's kind of tough. Right? We aim to be very transparent with our clients, and then empower the dev.
Yeah, for developer experience, continuing to push the developer experience and really be a force multiplier is increasingly important, in our environment. Not just happier developers that are more productive, but again, being a significant cost multiplier that now allows us to get further business back and deliver the new experiences. So, developers number one for us.
All right. Well, with that,
I do want to ask one thing. We never get to do this on Cloud Foundry Weekly. Any questions from the audience?
Yeah, from the real world in-person audience.
Any questions?
I have a question for you both. What's the order of magnitude of number of containers you are running in production on Cloud Foundry at Comcast and JPMorgan?
Okay, so the question was the scale of our environment from a container standpoint. When we stopped using tens of thousands to measure, we're probably not quite as large as my friend here from JPMC. But I think once you reach that scale, which gets like 25,000, 50,000, and then things break in new, wonderful ways. So, the number is once you get past a certain point. But we're in the 6 digit.
6 digits. And at JPMorgan?
They're a little.
We're going to play fifth on that.
Large.
Thank you.
Large.
Any other questions? All right.
By the way, thank you.
We'll see how long this reaches here.
First live question.
What's your most popular language?
We don't like to brag.
What's the most popular language and framework workload running on your Cloud Foundries? Like, is there one thing that is the most popular on your platforms for language and framework for apps?
What's the most popular language or workload? Yeah. For us, it's Java. With a strong leadership there. We have, we have a couple of internal frameworks. Spring Cloud is definitely up in there.
Yeah, I think this is a loaded question from James. As well. Java and Spring Boot, so we've been longtime fans. So definitely prominent, real estate in our environments in Java and Spring Boot. Yeah.
No, I'm really
suspicious. One more in the back. Chris?
Hi. You were talking earlier about the Chris Phillipson. We were talking really about the multi-file validation of use cases, and I'm wondering what would it mean for you if instead of having to engineer all of the like the CI and CD to deliver to the different foundations, if you could just do a CF push and it would go to where it was most, for whatever criteria it would land on the foundations that it had. That way I have to do it once.
So that is an awesome idea, and I'm happy to say that that's exactly what Sergey talked about earlier. That's what we built, and so Sergey is very humble. Yes, one deployment that gets distributed across 3 regions and 6 availability zones. with data services all wired to the application. You know, our conservative projection is that it's going to see and ease the deployment process 50%. We have a couple of in production with millions of customers using, and they're seeing between 60 and 80% benefit. Because again, you know, first of all, the manifest and everything it's simpler. When you don't have one time large foundations, yeah, the developers are definitely really excited about being able to trust the platform to carry out the needs that they have, right? So again, we're still working on iterating that. That's why we want to appeal to the community to kind of help with that. So some of the next things are really around, you know, declarative ways to express, you know, different deployment patterns and so forth. But yeah, you're going spot on. Is being able to reduce the amount of pipelines, manifest configurations to only have one. That's you know, that's really powerful, and our developers are clamoring for more.
Yeah, we hear much the same. They really don't be focused on the over specific details of which one where. We have a couple of additional challenges that Greg's organization may not have that give us extra thought around this. But it's something we're trying to look at too. I guess we can't really help but feel that if the community can come together, if we fix the right problem, it could be something we can work on collaboratively.
I think that kind of goes back to what James was talking about earlier about the abstraction away from the developers, making it easier for them. One of the great things about the community is coming up with stuff like what, you know, Sergey talked about, and the community helping build the product to make it something truly great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's non-trivial. So there's definitely many hands like
Hello. Which one? Both? Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Hello all. So yeah, I'm super happy to know that Java is basically your most popular platform. I have recently joined as a Java build pack maintainer, so it's always happy to see that it's being used out in the wild. And actually, I got a question for you. Maintaining both the Cloud Foundry and the Paketo Java build packs, there's one big difference that is striking me as a maintainer is that with Cloud Foundry, when you do your CF push, you need to CF push compiled a build app, right? So you basically CF push a jar. Whereas in V3, you can just CF, well, not CF push basically, but pack on an application, but it's not compiled yet. And the platform is going to compile it for you, basically. Is it something that you miss on V2? Is it something that you feel like would be a great enhancement? I mean, would be a good enough reason to move to V3, for example? I mean, is it something that you miss on V2, the possibility to have the platform build your application directly from source?
You want to take it first?
Weird. Sure. The sort of language life cycle is very important to us. Something we track closely. Think about it from many perspectives. Having the platform do it has the value that that's not some additional artifact that we need to store, track, take care of, ensure it's updated regularly, those sort of things. We look at a lot of that information from the platform metrics that we have, so we're kind of aware of what people are running. But I think that would be like a value if we could do the push, go with the latest language, and from that perspective.
Yeah, I think first, it's also a loaded question. When we say if the platform can take that in a certain way, like the answer is always for me, yes. But from a build pack perspective, that pattern of of composability, enables flexibility, separation of concerns, and the ability to sort of make adjustments from a Cato standpoint versus Cloud Foundry standpoint. So definitely there's value in having that composability and separation of concerns and the ability to kind of manage at a more granular level. And as far as again, here's my source code, like the repo, and not my jar file. That would be cool for sure.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Any other questions? I know we're like way over time, so I appreciate y'all letting us run over. But okay, I think we're good now. Thanks to everyone on live stream. We did hit a record today, and thanks for dealing with the audio issues. We'll try to get a clean version, post production, fix any audio if we can. But we usually, if you haven't seen the show, you should go watch all the shows. Right? So we usually end the show with a CF bot. But now that we have a whole line audience in front of us, we can all do a big CF bot, and then we'll cut the feed. But are we do like a countdown?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
CF5.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Like and subscribe and follow us on YouTube. Thank you. Bye-bye.